Hey, just another quick video about WhatsApp and some of the key concepts in WhatsApp. So there are really two key kind of data elements that I think it's worth to understand when you talk about WhatsApp, and that is the idea of outreaches and encounters. So what are they? What are they not? I've thought maybe just spend a couple of minutes to explain this. So outreaches are any events that are happening out on the street, out in the open air, so to speak, with the idea of reaching people with the gospel. That's really what an outreach is. It's a timed event. So it happens at a point in time. It lasts for a specific amount of time and then it ends. So that's what an outreach is. What it is not, an outreach is not meant to be events that are organized in churches. Evangelistic events that are organized in churches or let's say in schools, things like that. That is I would say that's a different idea. That's a different concept. An outreach is something that happens out on the street, whether it's and you can see in the application itself there's different types of outreaches. Sometimes it's just about, let's say, leafleting, tracting. Other times it could be like a little kiosk, a little booth set up to invite people to stop by and ask questions. And so other times it could be things that are sort of people are walking around, let's say through parks, as I'm doing right now, looking for people to speak to, or looking for people, let's say even healing ministries, people inviting the public to, if they need prayer or if they need healing, or any similar things. People have done obviously outreaches with sketchboards, other visual aids, even performances. So let's say small concerts, small plays, even puppet shows that can be all sort of done as an outreach, as long as it's done in the open air and as long as it's with the purpose of presenting the gospel to the people. Now, what are encounters? Encounters are face-to-face interactions with people who stop by during an outreach. So an encounter would be at any point in time that during the outreach you have a person who you're interacting with, who stopped by, who has heard something you said, or stopped by and listened, and you've approached them, and now the conversation has started to occur. That is an encounter. And so it would be an exchange of views, a further clarification of the gospel, understanding where the person is spiritually, even towards potentially receiving prayer, or sometimes even challenge, sometimes a debate, more of a polemical discussion, or maybe just an exchange of views. And again, the idea being that in that exchange, the gospel would be again presented and clarified to the person. Now, what an encounter is not just a passing of a tract to someone. I would say that's more of a transactional exchange. There's been no ability to actually speak the gospel in that. Fine, if they read a tract, that would be great. That's not a negative thing, that's a positive thing. But we wouldn't call that, from a purpose of the application, we wouldn't call that an encounter. An encounter is a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more than just a transaction, and more of an interactive type of situation with a person. So, and the idea that those encounters would then be recorded, and that conversation would then be recorded as capturing, what are some of the challenges, what are some of the reactions that the person has had in reaction to the gospel. So those are the two key elements worth to keep in mind. That's I think you will get the most out of the app if you approach it in those ways. So hopefully that's clear. If not, ask me any questions. Happy to respond to those. Thank you. See you in the next video.